I went through a Cologne phase for a while. I used to wear a lot of cologne. People never liked me in cologne. They were never like, ooh, you smell good. They were always like, who's wearing cologne? I read a story one time about a country singer. They said he used to drink a lot of cologne, and he died. That's not funny, but it is funny the way I said it, though. They said he was a real bad alcoholic, and they were like, towards the end of his life, it got so bad, he started drinking cologne. And they said that like it was rock bottom. But I'm like, how's that rock bottom? Cologne's expensive, you know? Seems like a choice, you know? How would that even work in a social setting? Show up to a party, your buddy's like, oh, Bud Light? You're like, nah, I have a Drakkar Noir. It's got some heat on it. You know what I mean? Okay. I went out to San Diego not too long ago. Had a lot of fun out there, thank you. And a lot of homeless people out there. I don't mind. A lot of people think I'm homeless. You know what I mean? Doesn't bother me. And they were very polite. They were some of the nicest homeless people I'd ever seen. One guy came up to me on the street. He had both hands on his belt like this. He goes, would you like me to whoop your ass? I thought it was polite that he asked. I go to a lot of cities. A lot of times they won't ask, you know. They'll just try to do it. But this guy asked, you know, and I appreciated it. I said no, of course. He got so mad when I said no. I guess he'd been out there all day asking that question. Like, dang, that's the last thing on my to-do list. And I can get back to the tent. You know what I mean? Okay. 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 I think if I were homeless, the first thing I'd save up and buy would be a day planner. That way, every day I could open it up and go, nothing to do. That joke never does as well as I'd like. But, I think people think I'm making fun of homeless people when I'm really just admiring the freedom, you know? Free schedule, any day of the week, that's what I'm talking about. Never gets better the more I explain it, but here's a joke that never works. This joke is not about homelessness, though. This is a different joke. It's a good joke, it just doesn't do that well for audiences. I like this joke a lot. I'm a big fan of it. Now, we're going to do it in a minute, though. Here we go. Okay. All right. Here it goes. Sometimes I'll be listening to the radio, and they'll be advertising like a local business, you know, and they'll be like, we've been in business for well over 50 years. And I'm like, well, how well over, you know? Not well over enough to put another number on it? Not 51, 52? And if it's 51, is it even that well over 50? And that's it. That's the whole joke. It's a good joke. It's a good joke. It's not that funny, I guess, but it does make a lot of sense. But that's not really what you want out of a comic, you know, just to make a lot of sense. You don't want to leave the show being like, you know what, he wasn't that funny, but he made a lot of sense. I found myself sitting there not laughing so much as I was being like, you know what, that adds up, what he's saying right there. I appreciate the way he puts things together in a way that I can understand. Like if somebody hands you a drink and they go, there's well over 6 ounces in here. You're like, are you trying to say 7? That's the same joke, bit of a different twist to it. Not much funnier, but it is still makes a lot of sense. You know, the problem with drugs is addiction, right? That's the problem with drugs, addiction. Because if we're not getting addicted, then we're just out here having a good time. You know what I mean? Like if you could guarantee I wouldn't get addicted, and I mean this, if you could guarantee that I wouldn't get addicted, I'd try crack. I've always wanted to try it. Seems like my kind of drug. You know, I don't want to do it a lot, 1 or 2 times, well over 1 time. That's all I want to do it. That's all I want to do it. Well over 1 time, you know. But I don't want to be like a crackhead or whatever, you know. So I don't do it. But imagine they could invent like a non-addictive crack, you know. That'd be fun. Like all the fun of crack without the baggage, you know. Crack that you can do today, but not tomorrow, you know? Unless you want to. You know, at that point, it's up to you, really. It's your choice. But a lot of weed is becoming legal in a lot of states, you know, and they start setting up dispensaries or whatever. And so you could start setting up these crack dispensaries, you know? You still make it look like an old house if you want, you know? You don't want to kill the vibe of crack. You don't want to ruin the aesthetic that crack has. But think about this. You're at work on Friday, you know, and you're about to get off work, and you're like, well, I don't really want to drink this weekend, but I'd like to have some fun, you know. So on your way home, you stop off at the dispensary, and you get yourself a little rock, and you go back to the house, and you don't do it on Friday. You just kind of rest up. And then on Saturday, you get up, maybe go out on the side deck, and... You got some cigarettes, maybe a light bulb, and you drop that rock in there and you fire it up, you know. Smoke a little crack out there on the back porch. Your neighbor sees you over the privacy fence. You're like, oh no, it's non-addictive now. It's not going to be a problem in the future, you know. You ride it out on Saturday, you recover on Sunday, you're back at work on Monday. Your coworkers are like, what'd you do this weekend? You're like, you know what? I tried crack for the first time. They go, whoa, how was it? You're like, pretty wild, really. I wasn't ready. Started off pretty smooth, then I kind of blacked out and stole a catalytic converter and... I don't know why. I don't even know what it does, you know, but I just want to get my hands on one. Took it off my own car, though. It's a real mess out there, you know. My driveway's in shambles. Had to Uber to work today. Think about doing a little crack this weekend. See if I can't get it back on, you know. It's when I do my best work. I had a buddy that did crack one time, and he told me it felt like he was having a heart attack the whole time. And I don't know if he ever did it again, but the next day I had to drive him around while he pawned a lot of DVDs. So I don't know if there's a connection there or not, or if he just started hating movies after that, you know. Just didn't have the attention span for it after that. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but okay. And I get around a bit, and had a lot of fun out there. And this lady came up to me after the show, and she goes, "Hey, great show." I was like, "Thank you, I appreciate that." And then she goes, "Have you ever milked a cow?" And I said no, and she goes, "Do you want to?" And I said no, you know. Not looking to do a lot of chores after my show. I just kind of want to relax, you know. I'm not trying to go back to this lady's farm and shear the sheep and shoe the horses. Then she was like, "'Cause my husband's getting wild tonight and I need somebody to help me milk the cows." And at that point, I wasn't even sure we were still talking about cows. I was like, but if that's a pickup line, I'm not into it. I don't even know what that could be and be something that I'm into, you know? I don't even like milk that much. Like, I like milk. I had a little bit of milk today, you know? But I don't like it enough to be into milk. I'm not like, ooh, milk, huh? You say you had milk? Well, okay. Milk's weird anyway, though. I do like it, but you ever think about milk? It's like outside right now in an animal somewhere. And we go out there and we're like, yeah, give me that milk. The baby calves in the corner all hungry. We're like, nah, this is my milk now. I got a whole 5-gallon bucket here. About to take this back to my family. About to have a lot of milk mustaches back at our place. I want to know how we settled on cow's milk, you know? You got to think at one point we weren't drinking animals' milk, and then we're like, you know what? We're going to start drinking animals' milk. But we had to find out which ones were good, you know? How did we do it? I like to think it was one guy milking every animal for like 10 years, you know? After like a decade, he's like, it's cows, man, it's cows. I am so sick. I drank a lot of weird milks over the years. He's like, the goats are okay, but mainly want to stick to the cows. You really want to stay away from that dog's milk. You know what I mean? You imagine milking a dog, you know? It's good enough to get a little coffee creamer out of it. Getting bit the whole time. You're like, get out of here. Get out of this. Trying to not drink a black coffee again. I went with a friend to a coffee shop. He ordered a latte. They were like, what kind of milk? He goes, chocolate. I don't drink a lot of lattes, so I don't know, but that don't sound right to me. I don't feel like that was the question they were asking. I also want to know how we decided to start drinking animals' milk. You think they just saw a baby calf drinking out of a cow one day and they were like, well, that looks pretty good. I think I'd like to try to get in on that, you know? Hope I can get it with my hand, though. You know what I mean? Okay, we're having a good time. Okay. I like a lot of milk jokes in my show. I'm a real milk joke comic now. One test drive ruined our reputation here. Nah, that's gross, though. I don't like to do a lot of gross jokes like that, you know? I'm not into a lot of throw-up jokes. That's not my thing. I don't like a lot of throw-up jokes. I don't like a lot of fart jokes. I'm not into that sort of stuff, you know? I know a lot of guys that are kind of like fart in your area, you know? And that's a big joke to them. It's very funny. That's not my kind of joke, you know? If I got a fart, I try to go off to the side. I try to be very discreet about it, you know? But it feels like no matter where I go to let one out, somebody pops up. I could go into a closet to let out a few. Somebody will pop up. Hey, dude, what's going on in here? You farting in here? What, man? You get back out to the party, you know? Instead of farting in here all night. Blowing up all the coats, you know? You're not supposed to be breathing that in, you know? That's why you're getting all dizzy like that. If I fart and somebody walks up to me, I just go ahead and let them know what happened. I go, hey, I just want you to know I just farted here, okay?